When I think of Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't just think of speed. I think of freedom, community, and expression. And I think these are elements perfect for an MMO. The thing is, Sonic MMOs already exist, but they're made by fans. These games are either old, abandoned, or dead. But despite that, a lot of them have got rich history. So today I'll be exploring these remaining worlds. Most MMOs you might think of are 3D, but these Sonic fangame MMOs are actually 2D. Despite that though, there's still a lot of interesting stuff to be found in them. So let's start with the first one, Sonic FGX Ultimate. Now this game plays like 2D Sonic games, but with modern Sonic characters. From what I've played, the game seems really polished. The music is nice, but it's completely empty. There's no one online. And it doesn't really feel like an MMO, because besides playing classic Sonic levels, there's not much to do. Now I can see this game being fun with friends if you all decide to play together, but as an actual MMO, I don't know if it really fits the bill. That being said, this was the first one I found, and despite it not exactly fitting, it's still pretty fun to play, so I'd recommend checking it out if you like these kinds of games. Snazzy. Now this game is also 2D, but when I played it there were actually multiple people online, so that was a pretty big difference. Lobby. Oh! It's people! Rush. Hi. Oh my gosh, there's actually people! Hello there, buddy. Yeah. That's nice, isn't it? I get it. Sally, no. Hi there. Oh my god, it's another player! Talk to me. Yes, jump my compatriot. So what do you do in this game? Maybe that's a good question, right? Again, there's not a lot to do together except playing stages, so that could be fun with your friends, but again, it's more 2D Sonic with online than a real MMO. Now this game did have a few elements that I liked that weren't in Sonic FGX Ultimate. For instance, there seemed to be actually a boss battle, which was pretty cool. Oh, Mecha Sonic. What the heck? Why am I in a boss battle? Oh. What? No! Why am I in Learned Flowers now? What is happening? That being said again, this one was mostly just playing stages. In fact, I got stuck and couldn't exit the game when I got in a stage, so I just had to restart to go back to the hub world, which was a little annoying, but again, this game can be fun, I think, with some friends. And then we've got Sonic Arena 2 Remastered. Now, as it says, this is a remaster of the original Sonic Arena 2, which is a game from 2009. And honestly, it shows. This game has a very 2000s or at least early internet aesthetic, which I think is pretty charming but might not be your thing. When you boot up the game, you can make a character. There's multiple races playable, and besides being visually different, these races change the way you engage in combat. Now this game is also 2D, but it's a top-down world with sprites, so it's definitely a bit more open world feeling at least. It reminds me of Pokemon, which personally I like a lot, so I'm a fan of it, but it's not exactly 3D. The gameplay is very grindy. From what I've played at least, it took me, I think, at least 10 minutes to get to level 2, and I think I had to get to level 5 before I could do anything, so I think you'd have to sink a lot of time in if you want to get something done. When I played, there were only 1 or 2 people online at a time, and a lot of the times when I logged in, 1 or 2 people would mean they were AFK, so it's not like I could really interact with people, but when someone else was online, it was very fun, and I think the format fit that a lot better than side-scrolling like the 2D games I've played before this. So, in my first session playing the game, I got helped out by 2 veteran players, Bulwark and Lightwave, and they gave me a ton of rings and told me a little bit about how the game works, which was definitely needed because I just skipped the tutorial blindly and didn't know how to attack anything, so I kind of got stuck. Besides that though, there were a few other commands like pickpocket and gamble, which I tried but couldn't really get working. Maybe I can pickpocket him. Wait, no wait, why? There are 2 other people on this whole game. So am I going to pickpocket one of the 2 guys? But anyway, I chatted to the other players online and it was very wholesome, honestly. We just talked about how the game works, since when they've been playing. Turns out, a long time. And it turned out that Sonic Arena 2 actually has a pretty dedicated community. I mean, it's still kind of getting updated. When I logged in, the Christmas event was ongoing, which meant that I got to meet Santa Claus. And I thought the event just had a really cozy and cute vibe. And honestly, that goes for the whole game. Although it's definitely outdated, I found it charming. I'd say if you like Sonic, it's worth checking out, if only for the history, but who knows, maybe you like this grindy type of game. There's definitely something special about walking around knowing a lot of people played this over 15 years ago. And honestly, more than the other two, this game really made me think about the potential of Sonic MMOs. I mean, what makes MMOs special, right? I'd say it's community. It's being able to have competition, being able to do customization, and have a space to be yourself. And so I've really been thinking about what the perfect Sonic MMO would look like. Personally, my idea of a Sonic MMO would be 3D, open, fast, and centered around playing together, with there being both teamwork and competition. And of course customization would be important. I mean, Sonic fans love their OCs. One element I'd really like is a Chow Garden being online. I mean, one of the 2D games I've played had a sort of Chow system, but it didn't seem to be fully fleshed out. But imagine a Chow Garden like in Sonic Adventure 2, but just being able to play online with your friends at all times. That would be amazing. And honestly, this is a game I would want to make. And in checking out the Sonic MMOs, even if they were flawed or mostly abandoned, my passion for these ideas got rekindled. So what would you want to see in a Sonic MMO? I'm curious if other people have the same type of ideas as me, or if they're totally different. I mean, maybe one of the games I showed off would fit your taste better. Or if you know of any other Sonic MMOs, then please let me know. I've tried to find them, but it seems to be pretty difficult, especially ones that are still playable.